This is not the same Harry Maguire. This season, Harry Maguire has transformed from a forgotten name on the treatment table into the undisputed general of Michael Carrick's Manchester United defence.
The second part of celebration, everything come out. And he spoke so well after the game as well, knowing that how important this result was, not just for him and the team, but just for the fans, because they're die happy now. They've beaten Liverpool for so long, and they've been rewarded.
From scoring at Anfield to end a 9-year winless run there, to masterminding back-to-back victories over Manchester City, where he won every duel against Erling Haaland, to dominating Arsenal in the air, to delivering a rock-solid display against Everton, where he was untouchable on crosses and corners. This is not the same player people mocked.
When you look at Harry Maguire and some of the stuff, I don't want to take it too far down there, but any mistake he makes, it turns into a massive meme. I can't even imagine what that would have been like in '98 when Bex came back from the World Cup. If we had social media, if he's still sitting there.
Yeah.
Maguire played every single minute of the 4-game winning streak that launched Carrick's era. He doesn't just bring experience and composure, his communication is constant, demanding, vocal. He pushes those around him and isn't afraid to call out teammates when standards drop. That leadership had been missing. Now it's visible again. His partnership with Lisandro Martinez has become quietly crucial. It's surprising to realise they've only started 16 matches together in a back four since Martinez arrived from Ajax in 2022. Yet United have won 11 of their last 14 when the pair start together. That's chemistry. That's balance. Keeping both fit could be the key to securing Champions League qualification. Harry Maguire is the embodiment of resilience. In 2019, he joined Manchester United for £80 million of fee that followed him like a shadow.
He's going through the worst moments in his career where he's played, and we've all been there. When you've had I can picture it now when I was playing, and I felt no matter what I did in the game, how I prepared for it, how well I played in the game, the one thing I'd get wrong is that the ball would end up in the back of my net. And I always remember when that was and that period of my career. And this is something that Harry Maguire is going through right now. Now, he has to get out of it very quickly, otherwise he won't be at the club. Because the standards at Manchester United are so high. You see
As mistakes crept in and form dipped, he became more meme than footballer in the eyes of critics. But he never folded, he never hid. And now he's fundamental to Carrick's United. And if you think he isn't one of the best defenders in the Premier League right now, take a look at this. For every person, Harry Maguire means something different.
The first 5-10 minutes of the second half. And then obviously the goal. The goal was poor on Harry's part. I'm sure, again, behind closed doors, he will take responsibility for that. You don't need to come out here and go crazy about it, and you need to iron that out. But I think even the challenge he made just over the halfway line, and that he's lucky to stay on the pitch, because I feel the strikers running in on goal there and going to have a chance at goal. So.
To former England manager Gareth Southgate, he was untouchable, a guaranteed starter in a national team that kept reaching the final stages of major tournaments. To the casual England fan, he's the big-headed defender who became an internet meme during the 2018 World Cup after leaning on the advertising boards chatting to 3 women, one of whom is now his wife. To Erik ten Hag, former Manchester United manager, he was captain in his first season. But he was also, at different times, 3rd, 4th, even 5th choice centre-back. To Ruben Amorim, he was a regular starter and somehow a leader during what the Portuguese boss himself called the worst Manchester United side in history. And the numbers backed it up: 15th place, the club's lowest league finish since 1974, and a 38.7% win rate, the worst of any manager in the club's modern era.
Harry Maguire, it's really important for us, was really important for us today. He's a great example on that. Everything that he been through, it's a good example for every kid. And now he has to recover to be ready for Brighton.
To Pep Guardiola, he was the first name in mind to replace Vincent Kompany at Manchester City until United outbid their rivals. To the more patient United supporters, he's a good lad who tries his best, plays well at times, but whose limitations have often been brutally exposed. To others especially, the worst corners of social media, he became a punchline, a running joke, a target. In other words, he's Harry Maguire, and he's complicated. But today, the football world finally understands him. There are players who can do everything, and there are players who can't. Harry Maguire clearly belongs to the second group, and that's absolutely fine. He's not built for huge lateral recoveries. He's not designed to defend massive spaces behind him. He's not the type to survive in wide open transitions or hold an extremely high line without protection. But in the territory he owns, he's unbelievably reliable. That territory is the penalty box and everything around it. That's where Maguire lays down the law. When matches are played close to his goal, his value skyrockets. Carrick understood that, and now he has, in his centre-back, one of the most solid defenders in the Premier League. Since returning from his thigh injury, United have kept 3 clean sheets in 6 games. That's how solid Harry Maguire has been. Manchester United's £80 million investment in a defender still hasn't been surpassed since former executive vice-chairman Ed Woodward negotiated his move from Leicester City back in 2019. At the time, it felt like a statement signing, a pillar for the next era. But across the following 6 seasons, that pillar cracked, confidence dipped, status fell, the price tag became a burden, until this almost miraculous revival under Michael Carrick. So what actually happened? In modern football, we keep making the same mistake. We expect every player to be versatile, adaptable, interchangeable. We demand they function in any system, any structure, next to any type of teammate. Like the ideal footballer is someone without edges, without limits, without weaknesses. But real football doesn't work like that. And Harry Maguire might be one of the clearest modern examples of why. You can divide players, very simply, into 2 categories. The plug-and-play player, the one whose technical, physical, and mental completeness allows him to fit anywhere. Different roles, different zones, different tactical systems. The team doesn't need to bend for him. He adapts, he survives, he performs. Then there's the specific player. This type offers extremely high value, but only if used correctly. He isn't naturally adaptable. He depends on context. He needs structure. He demands certain decisions be made around him. Harry Maguire is, without doubt, a specific player, and that's where both his value and his problems begin. To understand why Maguire is specific, you have to look at 2 things: what actions he repeats and where he repeats them. The best specific players don't stand out because they do everything. They stand out because they do the same things over and over and master them. Maguire is exactly that. His football is built on a very clear pattern. Defend the box. Win duels. Control the space in front of goal. And intervene when the ball enters his territory. That's his kingdom. And when the game is played there, he becomes an absolute problem for anyone trying to break through. He's not a centre-back built for massive lateral recoveries. He's not designed to defend huge spaces behind him. He's not the kind of defender you leave exposed in open grass or ask to hold an ultra-high line without protection. But in the territory he owns, he's unbelievably reliable. That territory is the penalty area and everything around it. That's where Maguire lays down the law. When matches are played close to his goal, his value skyrockets. In that context, he offers 3 qualities that are very hard to find together. Dominance in duels. He's powerful in physical battles, both aerially and on the ground. In direct confrontations, he's extremely difficult to move or overpower. Strikers don't bully him, they bounce off him, reading crosses and second balls. Maguire is an elite box defender. He reads trajectories early, times his jumps properly, attacks the ball with conviction, and shrinks the opponent's margin for error on wide deliveries. When crosses start flying in, he becomes a problem. Progression without forcing it. He's not a creative centre-back, and he doesn't pretend to be, but he can carry the ball forward when space opens up and play simple vertical passes when the opponent drops off. He doesn't destabilise the team by trying to be something he's not. In structures where the team defends in a mid or low block, protects the area, and allows play to come from the front, Maguire can look and genuinely be a top-level centre-back. The problem starts when he's asked to do what he's not built to do. Maguire struggles when he has to defend huge lateral spaces. He's isolated in open field against quick forwards. He must hold a very high line without cover. He's asked to be constantly aggressive far away from his own box. Not because he lacks intelligence, not because he isn't professional, but because that's not his footballing nature. When he's forced to cover too many metres, to sprint backwards into space, or to solve 1v1 situations in open transitions, his greatest weapon disappears. Anticipation from control. And that's when the viral clips arrive. The lost foot races, the exaggerated mistakes, the caricature. Not because Maguire is bad, but because he's misused. The key with Harry Maguire isn't hiding him, it's fitting him correctly. His best version appears when 3 clear conditions are met. 1. An aggressive centre-back next to him. He needs a partner who attacks the ball away from the box. Someone who steps out, presses, takes risks. Maguire cleans up what's left behind. And who would have thought that after 3.5 seasons, Lisandro Martinez and Harry Maguire would finally look like the perfect centre-back pairing? It didn't start that way. In fact, their early days together at Manchester United were rocky enough that the partnership was quietly shelved for years. Injuries, system changes, managerial shifts. The pairing was always there, but never fully trusted. There's irony in the fact that just when it felt like Maguire's time at Old Trafford might be fading, Michael Carrick brought them back together and suddenly uncovered a duo that had been hiding in plain sight all along. The win over Tottenham was only the 15th time Maguire and Martinez had started together in a back four since the Argentine arrived for £57 million in the summer of 2022. 8 of those 15 games ended in clean sheets. 11 ended in wins. That's not coincidence, that's chemistry. There are reasons why the partnership never properly bloomed. They started the first 2 matches of Erik ten Hag's era, a 2-1 loss to Brighton,
goes towards the near post and the rebound is in,
and the infamous 4-0 collapse at Brentford. Martinez was subbed at half-time in the second match. The headlines followed, and although pundits debated Martinez's physicality, it was Maguire who ultimately paid the price. After that, Martinez suffered serious injuries that kept him out for long stretches. Then, for 14 months under Ruben Amorim, United played with a back 3. In that entire period, the pair started together just 8 times. Now, under Carrick, Maguire's resurgence has brought them back together, and they look like a duo forged over a decade, not patched together by circumstance. They have balance, right and left foot, the passer and the enforcer, one who thrives in aerial battles, the other who relishes ground duels. One steps out, the other holds. It looks natural. It looks almost perfect. For too long, 14 months to be precise, Manchester United deprived themselves of the art, the beauty and the simplicity of a properly balanced centre-back pairing. Bruce and Palist.
this is Tommy Johnson, Dean Saunders pulling away to the near post, Johnson,
Stam and Johnson. Ferdinand and Vidic.
Convey has just hooked it away from Brow and looks for the run of Leroy Lita, who's got away from Ferdinand, in goes Kitson, he's still there. Vidic did.
The balance, the shared responsibility, the understanding that when one jumps, the other covers, control on one side, aggression on the other. 2. Fullbacks who can cover big spaces. If the fullbacks dominate wide zones and recover quickly on the outside, Maguire doesn't have to drift too far from his central territory. That reduces his exposure massively. Luke Shaw, Dalot and Lenny Yoro have done a brilliant job in that regard, covering width, correcting transitions, allowing Maguire to stay where he's strongest. 3. A limited but clearly defined role. The clearer his job, the better he performs. Defend the box, win duels, organise, that's it. Don't ask him to be everything at once. In that structure, Maguire isn't a weakness to manage, he's a competitive advantage. And when you give him that defined role, he produces monster performances. Like against Arsenal, 97 minutes. Not a single duel lost. Not on the ground. Not in the air. 10 defensive interventions, total dominance in every collision, absolute presence in the box, pure leadership. With Arsenal known for their reliance on set pieces, winning every aerial duel showed just how imposing Maguire can be inside his own area. He turned their biggest weapon into nothing, and he wasn't just clearing balls, he was composed in possession 2, winning 2 fouls, completing 17 carries, including 2 progressive ones. But the moment that summed it up came deep into stoppage time at the Emirates. Gabriel Magalhaes charged forward, looking for a late equaliser. Maguire met him head-on. He won the duel cleanly, then almost symbolically, lifted him off the ground and cleared the danger. Pressure gone, message sent. The clip went viral instantly. Because that wasn't just defending. Harry Maguire might genuinely be the best low-block defender in the Premier League right now. When he doesn't have to play out under crazy pressure, when rapid forwards aren't sprinting into acres of space behind him, he's honestly incredible to watch. You just can't beat him in duels. And the way he reads the game, proper top level. Old school centre-back intelligence with modern composure.
I was doing an interview now and they asked me about Jadon doing my celebration. I don't think that is something that is going in different ways. I saw the game, the goal of H, and I'm seeing Paul running behind him, sliding on his knees. Happy for him, everyone. I was slapping his head and saying that finally you score with that big head.
Maguire wants to stay at United, even though his contract could run out at the end of the season. And if you look at the numbers, you'd seriously question letting him walk away. According to FOTMob, he's won 71% of his ground duels this season and 73% of his aerial duels. That's elite territory. That's top bracket in the Premier League. Compare that to Lenny Yoro, 57% ground duels won, 61% aerial duels. Yoro does edge him in tackles and interceptions per 90 minutes, 1.85 tackles and 1.31 interceptions, compared to Maguire's 1.05 tackles and 0.7. That tells you Euro steps out more, engages earlier, plays a slightly different role. But here's the telling stat. United concede 1.85 goals per 90 minutes, with Euro on the pitch this season. With Maguire, just 1.05. Now, context matters. Euro played most of his minutes under Ruben Amorim. Maguire has featured more under Carrick's structured system. Still, the defensive stability speaks for itself. So are we watching the final chapters of Harry Maguire at Manchester United? Who knows? Maybe. Maybe not. From Maguire's point of view, he needs to be playing every week. From United's perspective, if he keeps performing like this, the case for a new contract becomes a lot stronger. Carrick rates him not just as a player, but as a leader, just like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did.
It was a big ask for H, I have to say, and credit to him. I think it taken for granted sometimes what players do, but for him to play it today and come through it and taking, it was. I'm not going to lie, it was a bit of a calculated gamble.
In the end, it'll likely come down to money and contract length. But Maguire's focus is simple. Get United back into the Champions League and cement his place with England again. He can't control the boardroom decisions. He can't control negotiations. What he can control? Performances. And if he keeps delivering nights like Sunday, United might realise letting him go would be madness.